the TIP Annual Conference 2024. Are you ready? Believe me, it's hard to beat a person who keeps showing up every day. It shifts from winning to outlasting. And this year, the TIP Annual Conference has reached its outlasting realm. These are the words that hit us at the dawn of the introduction of this year's Annual Conference 2024 by Wendy Ologe, Africa's #1 parenting coach herself. My name is Joy Eshimokai. I am a public speaking coach. I am the founder of Prospeak Life Academy, and I am the official MC of the Intentional Parents Academy. We have grown tremendously over the years, and it's all thanks to you, our amazing community of intentional parents. Let's take a quick look back at our incredible journey. In 2018, we pioneered online conferencing to reach thousands of parents for free. In 2019, we had 25 coaches reach over 10,000 parents. In 2020, 27 coaches reached over 30,000 parents. In 2021, we had 30 coaches over 7 days reach over 50,000 parents. In 2022, we had 32 coaches over 7 days reaching 100,000 parents with over 1 million impressions on YouTube. In 2023, we had 30 coaches again over 7 days reach 150,000 parents with over 2 million impressions on YouTube. And now, TIP Conference 2024 with the team Raising Kings. Those who make them and those who sit at the table with King, with an outstanding 34 speakers. By the way, have you attended the TIP conference for 7 years straight? Then you will understand when I say you don't want to miss any session. It is an array of coaches from all over the world. The Academy has brought you the who is who of parenting to teach you parenting and make the world a better place. We are bringing you key players at this year's conference. Share the of that speaker who you can't wait to see. Do you know any parents or parents to be? Share with them, tag them now. Spread the word and let's make this the most impactful TIP annual conference yet. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. We can't wait to see you at the TIP Academy. My name is Joy Eshimokai. Together, let's raise kings.
Welcome to the Intentional Parent Academy TIP 2024 Annual Conference tagged Raising Kings. I am Ben Wale from Rivers State, Nigeria. Before I met Coach Mindy Olonge, I have been into parenting, counseling at different levels, and my parenting style and method was just a mixture of many things put together, principles, ideas, processes mixed up together. Coming across Coach Mindy Olonge brought about the streamlining of my parenting processes, systems, and structures. My journey in the inner circle has been very, very eventful, transformative, rewarding, and knowledge gathering. Since I joined the inner circle in 2024, all the old practices and styles of parenting I was used to have been dropped with the new ideas I acquired in the inner circle. Today, my parenting style is pursued with a sense of intentionality, with a sense of humility, meekness, and civility. I see parenting as all about me and not the people I'm trying to parent. I have realized the importance of skill acquisition and also the power of connection in all I do with my children. Since 2024, I joined the inner circle. I have been transformed. My idea of parenting has changed. For you to parent effectively, you must be able to connect with the person you want to correct. Without knowledge, you cannot go far in the 21st century as far as parenting is concerned. By the time you join the inner circle, all the normalized parental approaches and styles you have known over the years will be rewired. Coach Mindy is going to revive your parenting skills, and he is going to make you understand what it means to be an effective and caring parent in the 21st century. In TIP, we create movements and not just programs and courses. That is why you have to be part of it. I have to especially thank Coach Mindy Olonge for the opportunity given to me to express myself in this TIP 2024. I am not taking it for granted. My advice to viewers, find it very, very necessary to be part of the Intentional Parent Academy program. They will not regret it. Thank you and God bless.
Hello everyone, my name is Joy Eshimokai and I am the lead coach here at ProSpeak Live Academy.
Welcome to ProSpeak Live Academy. At ProSpeak Live Academy, we believe that effective communication is the key to success. Our mission is to nurture the public speaking skills of adults, teenagers, professionals, business organizations, and anyone willing to learn, helping them overcome their fears and find their voices. Our comprehensive curriculum includes hands-on training, interactive sessions, and practical exercises that cover everything from body language to speech delivery and audience engagement. We offer personalized feedback and mentorship to help each student develop their unique style and strengths. From intensive bootcamps to free public speaking classes, we provide numerous opportunities for all our students to practice and excel. We have trained professionals from various organizations, held diverse free classes, and conducted amazing bootcamps for preteens and teenagers. We have collaborated with excellent coaches and authored effective public speaking materials and resources that are available for sale. Join us at Speak Life Academy and be a part of the transformative journey. Let's unlock the power of your voice together. To register for the 6-month Speak Out Bootcamp for your teenagers and also our August Bootcamp or one-on-one sessions, call or WhatsApp 090-6653-7703. Follow us on our social media platforms at Speak Life or contact us today to learn more about our programs and how to enroll.
Greetings, everyone. Hello, and you are welcome to the 4th session of day 5 of the TIP annual conference. And I know that you are excited. My name is Kemi Ogunro, and I'm here with my amiable host, Uduak. Uduak, please say hello to the audience.
Hello, everyone. It's day 5 TIP annual conference. My name is Uduak Odunide. Welcome once again.
And we greet you specially, we greet you specifically, most importantly, we greet you yadarically. And we want to use this opportunity to appreciate our coach, the Coach Wendy One, global coach. We thank you for such a privilege and an honor to be hosting this alongside. We don't take it for granted, especially, and to the entire TIP team as well. I know some of you were at the previous session, which was fire. And for me, I had so many takeaway moments. And my takeaway from the previous session was that if you are raising a king, sexual purity has to be at the top priority for you in your parenting journey. Uduak, please share with us, what was your aha moment? What was that takeaway moment from the previous session? Because it was fire.
From the previous session, Pastor Kate said something. She said, no mistake must happen twice. So what happened to my grandmother and happened to me is not permitted to happen to my child. That was my takeaway. And from Dr. Abba's class, he said something. He said, don't be ashamed to ask for help. He said, you need to know yourself. Because again, if you're not mentally stable, you cannot raise a mentally stable child. In Chiama's session, she said something that struck me. She said, you plant, then you send to mentor. So don't just wake up and carry your seeds and say, okay, let me go and take them to their coach, their mentors. The thing is, have you planted the seeds in them? So amazing session, amazing session.
Please, audience, we need the fire emojis. Let us share with us your aha moment. What was that word? That one word that you ran with? Not the entire word, just that one moment, that one word that will stick with you forever. Please share with us. Let other parents be impacted by your word. It's such a great time to also reiterate here with us that if you are not a part of the arc known as the Inner Circle, the TIP Academy, what are you doing? I encourage you, if you are parenting with a structureless parenting, if you were a yeller, if you used to hit your children, you are wrong. And all the displayed on your screen, you are just 1 point away from joining the Inner Circle by paying the fee of 5,000 naira to book a slot, and then 10,000 naira for the couple slot. I highly recommend the couple slot. Amazing, because parenting is about the tools, right? So please join us in this arc. I was just like you on the back seat, and I was like, are you sure? After all, we turned out okay. But I tell you and I beseech you that you need to be in the arc called the Inner Circle. And with that being said, I just want to let you know that this is an annual subscription-based parenting conference transforming over 5,000 lives, and your life will never be the same. So please don't be left out. Don't say we didn't do anything for you, because we've done something for you. And with that being said, let us take a quick review from one of our yadas, and from there we'll go into a message from one of our sponsors. Let's take it away. We'll be taking a quick review from our previous Yada, our current Yada, and also we'll be taking a quick message from one of our sponsors.
And while we are waiting, I'll just quickly share my own experience.
Self-care is any activity we partake in intentionally to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. Wellness is at the core of self-care. It is a lifestyle. We all know parenting is no way close to a stress-free situation, and we have learned in the TIP that parenting first begins with you. That's why I'm inviting you to a structured wellness program to get you to boost up those endorphins and get you. Self-care is any activity we partake in intentionally to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. Wellness is at the core of self-care. It is a lifestyle. We all know parenting is no way close to a stress-free situation, and we have learned in the TIP that parenting first begins with you. That's why I'm inviting you to a structured wellness program to get you to boost up those endorphins and get you to parent better. What do you get? You get a 30-day customized Nigerian-based meal plan. You get wellness products and meal replacement therapy. You also get a sportswear to get you moving. And for free, clean beauty products and access to experts in an exclusive club. This is me welcoming you to a wellness program to get you to become the well parent who understands TIP better. This is coming from Dr. Adi, your favorite pediatrician that cares about your children and you. To sign up to this wellness program, send a DM to Adjonia the Woman on Instagram or simply call 070-534-90525. Get well, parent better.
Awesome.
Okay, so I remember reading through, last month was a highlight for me in the Inner Circle Academy, and where I read Sex Educate Like a Pro. And reading through Coach David's story, I cried. I remember the driver looking at me in the car and saying, "Madam, are you okay?" I looked at him, I said, I was very okay. And that was a high point for me, sharing his story, talking about when he was in school. It made me realize that, again, like what Chioma said, if you don't plant the seed, nobody else is going to help you make the seed grow better, except it starts with us. So I'm super excited. I remember getting home that evening, I just handed over the book to my husband. I said, you need to read this book, and you need to read the story shared by Coach David. I'm super excited. So we are having him on board in today's.
Wow, drum roll, please. Drum roll. Can we have the fire emojis? Let's go pumped up as we welcome Coach David Folarimi. We are elated. We are ecstatic to have you, sir. The audience satisfaction is blazing. Be up off the roof. I already saw his wife in the comment section. I love the energy. We can't wait to listen. But before we do, let's see Coach David's bio. Let's take a look about the word. Let's see.
David Folarimi is a Christian, a fervent lover, and a follower of Jesus Christ, a recipient of several awards both home and abroad, a qualified economist, psychologist, public speaker, writer, and a certified counselor with specialty in addiction and substance abuse recovery. In 2007, and from the Covenant University, he earned his economics degree and a diploma in international management from the Institute of Business Technology in London, Brunel University. As a substance abuse educator, he also is a seasoned public servant with strong interest in counseling, psychology, mental health, understanding behavioral patterns, addiction counseling, and rehabilitation. He specializes in performance improvement, mentoring, coaching, and training of individuals and businesses. He possesses a rare and exceptional ability to think analytically with a passion for drug abuse prevention. He is the project director of the Leave Free initiative and a strong advocate for drug abuse awareness and drug use policy reforms. As a highly sought after trainer and speaker, he is well known among his peers as the Peculiar Man. He sits on the board of several progressive and developmental organizations in Nigeria and Africa. Mr. David Folaranmi is the founder and presiding director of the David Folaranmi Foundation, with the sole aim of creating a better world by putting humanity first. Is a value-adding enthusiast who is passionate about helping others, as it is evident in his daily life. Featured in several media outlets, both home and abroad. Also featured in several anti-drug abuse campaigns and documentaries. And in June 2022, he was invited to the presidential villa in Abuja on the occasion of the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, where he shared his personal experience with drug use, his recovery journey, and the work he is doing now. In February 2022, a Barbados-based media outlet, Divine Purpose Magazine, featured Mr. David alongside other distinguished world changers for his stellar contribution to drug abuse prevention in Nigeria. He also partnered with the Northeast Development Commission Education Endowment Fund in training 150 youths as peer advocates in Gombe State. He was the lead facilitator at the 3-week program. As a seasoned consultant, he has gone on to facilitate several other trainings for religious leaders, executives in the private and public sector, and other organizations. After completing a successful and rigorous training, David Folaranmi is now a certified member of the John Maxwell team. In October 2022, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency sponsored Mr. David's participation recovery support training organized by the Colombo Drug Advisory Program, and that certifies him as a drug abuse recovery support services professional, one of only 3 persons to be certified in the entire country at the time. He has attended several trainings from institutes at home and abroad on mental health, addictions, counseling, and leadership, including trainings from Oral Roberts University. He embarked on a training on global mental health at the Oral Roberts University, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and this is his most recent feat. David Folaranmi is happily married to Mrs. Nnenna Temi Folaranmi, and together they are blessed with 2 beautiful daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me and make welcome to the TIP Annual Conference 2024, Mr. David Folaranmi.
Wow. What an amazing profile. We consider it a privilege and an honor, sir, to have you grace our floors. We can't wait for what you have to dish for us. We are elated. I don't know about you, but that profile was earth-shattering. And we celebrate you, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. So that's what happens when your wife creates your profile for you. She tends to exaggerate it a bit and add some spices left, right, and center because she's your biggest fan. So
we love it. She was already pumped. And you have the floor, sir. You have about 45 minutes, and then we'll ease into the Q&A session. We thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's session at the TIP conference with the team Raising Kings. It's a big privilege for me to be here today. I've been looking forward to this day. I've been following the conference with speakers that I look up to, speakers who are my mentors, my role models, that are my teachers. I've been learning from them, and what a privilege it is to be in the inner circle. You understand better what these speakers are talking about. So before I even start today, I want to encourage everybody, just like our hosts have said, look, if you are not in the yard, you are not in the ark. My brother will say flood is coming. I don't want to speak it in Igbo because I don't have his intonation. In fact, I'm now told he now said flood has come already. So please, the ark is open. The inner circle is open. Book your slot. Like our host said, book the couple slot. Parenting is about two persons. It's not about just the mother. I joined the inner circle before my wife, and she came to join me, and we're reaping the fruits of what is being taught on this platform. Please, if you are not there, make it a point of duty to make sure you book a slot and you register today. Thank you very much. Without taking too much of our time, I'm believing God for the spirit of Elijah to cover what we have today. I would like to start by thanking my coach, my mama, my mentor, my boss, for giving me the opportunity to speak on a very vital issue, an issue that is of utmost importance, an issue that is ravaging so many families, a subject that I am most passionate about because of my experiences with substance use and what it did to me, the negative effects it had on me and my family. Guess what? I'm still suffering from some of those effects till this very day, even after 7 good years since Jesus saved me from substance use. Now, some persons might ask, at a parenting conference that is themed Raising Kings, why the subject of drug abuse? Why has Coach Wendy and her team decided that we should talk about drug abuse in this conference? Well, the answer is not far-fetched. The theme of this year's TIP conference is Raising Kings. And the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 31, verse 4, that it is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine or for rulers to crave liquor. That's what's written on my shirt. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine or for rulers to crave liquor. If you are raising a king indeed, then you should be raising a young child that does not drink. You should be raising a young child that does not crave liquor. You should be raising a young child that is not driven by intoxication. Some of us are blessed, and then because we have the nature of conformity, we decide that, oh, God has blessed me with a beautiful mansion in the Maitama axis of Abuja. So my mansion is not complete without putting up a bar in the mansion. And while we're at it, we can just throw in a few bottles of Hennessy and Johnny Walker and every other thing. And then you have children that you are raising in that house. Sir, ma, you are raising peasants. You are not raising kings and queens. You are not raising royalty. I didn't say it, the Bible said it. It is not for kings to drink. So if you decide to drink, then you have removed yourself from the school of royalty. It's that simple. The word of God is sure. It says it is not for kings to drink. As parents, we must train ourselves to train our children not to take alcohol. So what's more, why are we talking about substance abuse and drug abuse? We are witnessing an unprecedented decrease in the age of initiation into drug abuse, with children between the ages of 8 and 13 who are actively using substances. If you had sex educate your child like a Pro 4.0, I told the story of a young girl I came in contact with in Lagos, one of the very big schools. I did a teaching there on drug abuse prevention, and she came up to me and said, sir, I've been using substances. In fact, it has progressed from alcohol to marijuana, and from marijuana, she was now using cocaine. I assumed she was about 14, 15, 16. And when she told me her age, she said she was 13 at the time. And when I asked her when she started, she said she started at the age of 11. So this is an issue that has come to plague our generation. And as parents, we must pay attention to the issue of drug abuse so that our children, our kings, will not fall victim. Why else are we talking about drug abuse and safeguarding our homes? It's because it is destroying lives on a daily basis. It is destroying the lives of our children on a daily basis. Just last month, I was in a teaching conference. I got a distress call from a mother who was crying and said her 16-year-old was in the bunk. Why is she calling me? Why is she not calling the police? She said because she knows that I have access to those places and she would like us to help rescue her child from that place. I took excuse from the convener of that training and I went to where her younger brother said she could be. And then we found the 16-year-old girl there, totally intoxicated. I looked at her school bag, which carried the label of her school, the name of her school, one of the most prominent schools in Enugu State. Now I said, okay, what's happening here? We need to take this girl back. We need to rescue this young girl. And then they said, no, she's owing XYZ amount of money. And I said, okay, we're going to pay for it. You know what the young girl said? She said, sir, no, don't pay for it. Leave me here. And that broke my heart because that just showed, the school she was in showed that the parents had done some bits, in trying to put her in the right places, but they must have missed out on their parts in safeguarding the home from drug abuse. Now, everything that they thought they have done, every other thing they had practiced or they had taught us, sex education, respect, integrity, every other thing is out the window. Because this girl did not have money to pay anymore, she was willing to use her body to pay her debts and be left in the bunk. Drug abuse is tearing families apart. A few months ago, I was called for an intervention in a home in Abuja. A home of 28 years. The couple had been married for 28 years with 3 children. And they were on the brink of divorce because one of the children was struggling with substance use, and both parents had different opinions on how to help that young child. And my heart broke. I saw a family that was so closely knit about to be broken because a child was using substances. We can go on and on and on about the pain that is caused from drug use. Increase in deaths by overdose. We saw the example in 1 or 2 of the private universities in Nigeria. Of course, sometimes they'll try to cover it up and call it something else to save their faces. But we know that these children in school died of drug overdoses. So the demerits outweigh the advantages. There are no advantages anyway. So today, we're not here to speak so much on the demerits of drug use, but we are here to discuss the way out. We are here to look out for solutions, preventive measures that will protect our kings from falling prey to substance use. I struggled with substance use for 7 years. I was from a well brought up home, my brothers and I, but I still fell prey to drug use. And sometimes I'll go back and ask my mom, how did we get it wrong? We'll have this discussion. How did we get it wrong? Where did we miss it out on? I went to some of the best schools you can think of. In my profile, it was said I went to Covenant University, which is true. And from there, I went to the UK for my master's in Brunel University. So where did we get it wrong? Is it enough to send our children to these Ivy League schools? Is it enough to send our children to mission schools? Will that safeguard them from falling prey to substance abuse? Now, what is the way out? The way out remains prevention. Prevention, prevention, prevention. You see, Coach Ebuka humorously said, cure is not sure. Some of us laughed about it because it sounded like a witty statement, but there's so much power in what he just said, especially in the field of drug abuse and drug addiction. I can tell you firsthand that cure is not sure. Prevention is the only way out. Prevention is the only way out. Cure is not sure. I have seen people run from one rehabilitation center to the other, spending millions of naira in search for solution to drug use problem, all to no avail. I've seen people go to rehab 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I've seen people in the span of 20 years spend millions of naira in drug abuse treatment, all to no avail. Prevention is not only better than cure, it is also cheaper than cure. So when we say come for programs like this, come and listen to programs on prevention, and you say it does not concern you, may you not face the music of rehabilitation. Good rehabilitation now costs as much as 1 million naira per month. And guess what? It's for a trial and error. They will not tell you what I'm telling you now. You will not find it on Google, but I am in the system. There are times that the entire Enugu state will not have one bed space for treatment. Yet, these people that are in these rehabilitation centers are only being recycled from one center. They relapse, go to another center, they relapse, they go to another center, like that. Please pay attention to prevention. Please pay attention to prevention. Some of us parents are the primary cause of our children's struggle with drug use. We hate to admit it, but it's true. Irresponsible parenting, passive parenting, enabling parenting. Haba. Some of us are the cause of our children's struggle with drug use. Earlier this week, I did a drug test on a 21-year-old young man. And from the test, I found out that he was using alcohol. When I told his mother, who brought him in for the test, she said, no, it's okay. His father just allows him to drink once in a while. How bad? You are enabling and condoning what will destroy the life of your child. You should seek repentance. Some parents will literally destroy the life of a child for 30 odd years. Then will come and be looking for overnight miracle. Coach, send me Coach David's number. Coach Wendy, send me Coach Ebuka's number. Coach Wendy, send me Auntie Etima's number. It doesn't work. All this fire brigade approach to handling situations that you should have handled yourself, it does not work. One woman called me recently, about 2 weeks ago. She said her daughter started using crack cocaine at the age of 13. I said, Haba. How did it happen? Now that same daughter is 29 years old. She's still using crack cocaine and pregnant. I said, ma, in your daughter's case, finding a solution is not impossible, but highly improbable, except for the mercies of God. Because I won't lie to you. You can't come to me and because of money, I'll tell you that, all is well. Your child is just going to get better. Let us admit it. No. I will give you a clear picture so that you know what you are up against. A young girl using crack cocaine at the age of 13, her frontal lobe in the brain is now taking commands from crack cocaine for her to perform executive functions. Who is going to rewire that? And how easy do you think it is for her to defeat all of her triggers? To take the mercy of God for that young girl's life to be rescued. It will take the mercy of God and divine intervention for that young girl's life to be rescued. But I asked the mother, what were you doing when she started using drugs at age 13? Parents, hear me, take notes. Caution, take caution, take caution. Take caution. Pay the price of prevention today and enjoy a life of peace and tranquility tomorrow. Pay the price of prevention today and enjoy a life of peace and tranquility tomorrow. Because the price to pay for neglecting drug abuse prevention in the home can be too costly to bear. It can be too costly to bear. Last week, a mother came to me in my office. She was crying. So in my office, I have enough tissue, sophisticated tissue, very foreign tissue that smells very nice because I always have people crying. So she was crying. She said her only son is using substances. And you know what she said to me next? She said, the young man is 29. Imagine crying over a 29-year-old. She said, our only son is using substances. I said, when did he start? She said, it started when he was 17. And right now, he has sold everything. She's using, as parents, may you not use your retirement benefits to treat drug abuse, because that will be the most disheartening thing that you can ever think of. You work for 30 years, 35 years, you retire. Then the person you were working for is now struggling with addiction. And then your small pension that you are getting monthly, you are using it in treatment. That's not something I wish on anybody. You know what this mother said to me? She said she looked at the door, looked at the window, saw everywhere was closed. She said, Mr. David, I wish he would die. I lied to you not. She said, sir, I wish he will die. Somebody will say, was I surprised? No, I was not surprised, because this is the third time a mother will say a thing like that to me. I had somebody who called me from UK. She said she's coming to Nigeria to poison her son. After all, she has 2 sons. This one has been struggling with addiction for 7 years. So she's coming from UK to poison him, let him die, and she will go back. And most times, as parents, we forget that we didn't play our part. As parents, we forget that we are lying down on the bed the way we made it, because we ignored prevention techniques and methods. I have often reiterated that drug abuse can be prevented. And if this is to be achieved, the work must start at the family unit. The work must start at the family unit. Drug abuse prevention starts in the home. Drug abuse prevention starts with the family. And as custodians of the home, parents, this responsibility rests on us. Preventing drug abuse within the family requires an intentional approach, a deliberate approach. You can't leave it to chance. You can't. It takes a deliberate approach. It takes a purposeful approach. There is a way to do it. There is a manual to do it. There is a curriculum to follow. You can't delegate this responsibility to the schools. They will fail you. To religious organizations, you will cry. To the government, especially if you are watching from Nigeria, your name is sorry. You think the government, with all of its problems, is interested in preventing your children from using substances? I was speaking to the NDLA boss at a conference, and I said, sir, with all your manpower, as I'm talking about Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired. I said, sir, with all your manpower, you cannot carry out enough prevention responsibilities. This has to be spread. And family members have to take up that responsibility, especially parents. And he concurred with me. So what does that tell you? Even the government knows that it's your responsibility. So when you push it to them, they do you yimu. You know yimu? That's what they do. Keep pushing it to them. And then at the end of the day, when they tell you that they cannot help you, they push the mess back to you. It starts at the family. There must be open communication. There must be connection. If you haven't read Connect to Correct, go and read it. Now, maybe I'll take permission from Coach Wendy and I'll write Connect to Prevent. You must be connected to that child to be able to prevent that child from struggling with substances or other social vices. There must be drug abuse education through conversations and fostering of a supportive environment. This is very important. This is very important. In conversations with my mom, who fought through 7 years of addiction to see how I'll be rescued by the mercies of God. She never gave up. But she would always say, she would acknowledge, and I know she's on this session now, so if she wants to write in the comment section, she will confirm what I'm saying. She will look back and say she takes responsibility. She takes full responsibility. Sometimes I say, Mommy, no, you can't say so. I'm an adult. I should take responsibility for my mistakes. She says, no. I am your mother. I am the watchman over your life. I should have seen this coming before it started. 7 years, substance use. What did she do wrong? Went to Christian schools, Was always in the church, preaching the Bible at age 8. People were calling me a pastor at age 13, preaching to my peers, preaching to my seniors, preaching in secondary school. Some of my mates are on this session currently. And I did that wholeheartedly. And then out of her love, I'm talking about my mother now, sent me to Covenant University, even when I had options to go to other universities. She said, no, we need to put you where you will be safeguarded from social vices, where you'll be safeguarded from bullying, where you'll be safeguarded from substance use, where you'll be safeguarded from cultism. Was she doing the right thing? Yes. Did she lay the proper foundation? No. There is nowhere you will go to or you will send your children to that you will not find substance use. Once they come out of your bedroom, because even in your house, I want to tell you the most secure place is your bedroom. Once they come out of your bedroom, they are already at risk of exposure to substance use. I got my first exposure on the grounds of Covenant University, a university I love so much, that has done so much for me. Yet, we still had people who were able to infiltrate the university and start using substances and even offer it to other people. So what was the difference between me and others who were offered that eventually never used substances? Those who were offered and came out of it unscathed up till this very day were cooked properly from the home. They were cooked properly and they were trained and equipped with the right skills to be able to say no. I was speaking at an international youth conference in one of the biggest churches in Nigeria 2 years ago. After the opening paper, it was a 3-day program. I was going to speak all 3 days. On the first day, I finished speaking. A young girl came out and met me with 5 grams of cocaine in the church. 5 grams of cocaine. What did you bring this for? Sir, I brought it to use. You want to use this, only you? Because I know what that is. She said, no. I said, okay, what do you want to do? She said, I want to share it with others who may be interested. Look, while you are raising kings, there are people with slave mentality out there who want to snatch that kingship from them. There are people who know that they will never ascend the throne, so they do not want your children to be promoted from princehood to kingship. So if you don't guard or prepare them very well, you find out that you can give birth to a prince that will never become a king. Coach Ebuka said yesterday that no matter how, if a prince is not trained, he cannot progress to being a king, no matter how old he grows. And that's what happened with some of us. So we're born into royalty, right? And then we could not transcend from being a prince into being a king because there was a missing link. Something happened along the way that broke that process of transferring from princehood to kingship. So that's what happened. And then I went on to the UK, started using drugs, came back to Nigeria, became a full-blown junkie. In the same Abuja where I was celebrated for some feats I had achieved, I was now begging on the streets to buy drugs and now living in the bunk using those substances. I thank God I've taken Coach Wendy, Coach Etima, some of her associates to one of the bunks in Abuja. These things exist. These things exist. Last week, I got a call from a high-ranking NDLA official from the headquarters, and he said, look, Mr. David, what do we do about the bunks? What do we do about the bunks? You destroy one today, 3 spring up. I made a call back to Abuja and I said, okay, we want to come and do something little, in these drug spots. And they said, sir, we have more. The ones you know have multiplied. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. What is happening? What is happening? This is a battle you do not want to leave to chance. You do not want your children to face and leave them to chance. You must prepare them for it. If not, drug abuse will snatch that kingship from them. It is not for kings who learn well. It is not for kings to drink. Sometimes the kings do not want to drink, but there's nobody to protect or to teach or to guide them on not how to drink. So, very quickly, of course, we can't go into all of my story. That will just take us another 2 hours, and then my host will just log me out. Today we'll be looking at, we had 10 keys initially, but for time's sake, we'll bring it to 7. 7 keys to use in safeguarding your home against drug and substance abuse. 7 keys we will use to safeguarding your home against drug and substance abuse. Let me tell you, we've had excellent speakers, people I love so much with my heart. Pastor Favor Osiri, Auntie Etima, Ebuka, my brother. I mean, we can go on and on and on. And they've taught so beautifully. I tell you the truth, I will always say it. And maybe that's why Coach Wendy puts me towards the end. If you miss out on drug abuse education, every other thing you have learned in this conference will go out the window. Every other thing. I was speaking at a conference on values for our children. And I said something. I said, no matter how much values you seek to imbibe in your children, if you miss out on drug abuse and they fall victim to addiction, all those values will be eroded. They will be gone out of the window. Integrity will be lost. Everything will be lost. All the sex education you have gone will disappear. Literally. Because once the brain has been conditioned to want to use that substance, nothing else matters. 7 keys to using safeguarding your home against drug abuse and substance abuse. Number 1, spiritual sensitivity. The first key, spiritual sensitivity. Yesterday, in one of the sessions, we heard it that we are the custodians of our child's spirits. Now, permit me to add, with all sense of humility, let me add this today, that as a parent, you are tasked by God to perform spiritual oversight functions in the life of your children. As a parent, you are tasked by God to perform spiritual oversight function in the life of your children. It is your responsibility. And gone are the days, men that are here, please listen up, listen up, listen up. Gone are the days that we are waiting for the wife to take up that responsibility. No! For fathers here, you are the priest of your home. You should start, you should open up that office of spiritual oversight, spiritual sensitivity. The opening speaker was speaking to us one day when we were in Covenant University. I was a student. He had just come back from Oral Roberts University. That's Pastor David Oyedepo. And he said something to us one day. He said while he was a student in Oral Roberts University, there was a time he wanted to do something. Not that it was necessarily wrong, but it was something he was battling with on if he should do or not. And he got a call from his father and told him straight, this is what you want to do. You shouldn't do it. Spiritual sensitivity. Discernment over the affairs of your children is very important. You do not ignore the nudges of the Holy Spirit. Sometimes it is telling you something. Something is about to go wrong. Something is about to go down. Sometimes you call it intuition. Sometimes you call it sixth sense. Whatever it is you want to call it, it is a gift that is given to you by God as a parent. And you must pay attention to it. Sometimes this not just come from the Spirit. Taking necessary action in terms of praying, investigating, studying, making research. Of course, depending on what the instructions are given to you by the Spirit. But spiritual sensitivity is lacking in this day and age. We are too busy on Instagram. You can't be busy watching TikTok and doing gong gong gong. I hope I got that correct. And you expect to hear from the Spirit what your children are doing. Some of us have even taken over social media. We're more active than our young children. You can't hear anything. There's no time of quiet in your life. You sleep with your phone. You are pressing Instagram until you sleep off. When do you want to get the nudging of the Spirit? You are busy on Facebook. Your child is smoking crack in the room. You are busy checking what is trending on Twitter. Your daughter is smoking crystal methamphetamine because it will not smell in the room. And then the spirit is trying to awaken you and tell you, wake up, something is happening. But you have created a noisy environment. Look, kings are prepared in a place of quietness. Kings are prepared in a place of quietness. By privilege, from a young age, my mom had been taking me to the UK. We go to Buckingham Palace. You can see the quietness around that place. And for other royal establishments around the world. So you cannot raise kings in a home that does not have the standard of a palace. No. Noise. Anyway, we're going to get into structures and systems very soon. There's a story of a mother who came to my office and she said she just felt, that's what she said. She said, Mr. David, I just felt in my spirit that my son was about to be initiated into drug use, but I don't know what to do about it. So I invited the young boy over, sat down, served him a cup of tea. It didn't take me 5 minutes. And we discovered that he had started using substances that same week. That same week, we were able to curtail that situation because a parent was able to discern what was happening. A parent was able to see what was happening. Most times, it takes a minimum of 2 years before, as a parent, you find out that your child is using substances. It happened to me. I never opened up to my parents till 2013. About 3 years. 2 years after I got back to Nigeria, 3 years after the menace started. And this is a consistent story in many cases. But we're so busy. We're so occupied. There's no quietness to receive from the Spirit that something is happening. Please let us change our ways. Let us change our ways. That's number one. Spiritual sensitivity. Number two, you must have age-appropriate conversations on drug abuse. Educate your children. Educate your entire family. Of course, especially your children and teenagers, about the dangers of drug abuse, including the physical dangers, emotional dangers, and legal consequences. Now, how can you educate your children if you don't have the right knowledge? So if you haven't gotten the knowledge on drug use, you are already wrong. First of all, you should understand it before you even get into marriage. Somebody said something one day that Coach David, when Coach David joined TIP, we started talking more about drug abuse. I say false. False. In Coach Wendy's book already, before I was even a serious member in TIP, she had already talked about drug use in the family. So it's not because of Coach David. If I was not here, you would have been hearing it from another source. She would have brought another person to tell you about it. Educate your family members. Get knowledge. Teach your children these things. Don't leave it for the schools to teach them. The school I told you about, that young girl in Lagos, is a school they pay millions. Over $1 million, close to 2 million naira a year. A secondary school. Yet, in that secondary school, they were using drugs. In having these conversations, there must be open communication. In having these conversations, you must create an environment where the children feel safe, discussing their feelings, problems, and concerns without fear or judgment. When you ask these conversations, a young boy was in our center, which he just moved, he just graduated to somewhere else, our treatment facility. He said his father, he said right from childhood, his father never gave him time to speak to him. He would say to me, he would say, Mr. David, my father would just ask me, how was your day? If I say fine, that is all. I always say, stop asking children, how was your day, and stop at it. Ask specific questions. Ask specific questions. I know all of my daughters, she's 4 years old, by the way. I know all of her classmates' names, all. So I ask her about her classmates one after the other. One after the other. Guess what? She doesn't get tired of answering me. She'll tell me this one came today, this one brought this today, this one brought this food today. And from there, she knows that daddy is interested in what she's saying. That's the way that she would be able to tell me the day one of those people brought cigar to school. Because it's not by the school you put them. There's no school you put them in that you are safeguarding them. One of the biggest and the best schools in Enugu, they started selling a particular drug. A student of that school has started selling the drugs in cookies. One of the most expensive schools in Enugu State. This was just last week. One of the teachers called me to tell me. So have these conversations. A critical part of these conversations is to teach and to encourage healthy coping mechanisms. Teach your children how to deal with stress, anxiety. Teach your children how to handle peer pressure. Teach your children problem-solving skills. Create safe scenarios that present problems to your children and watch them handle it. Let me tell you, kings, like leaders, are designed to create solutions to problems. I'm not talking about the kind of kings we have in Nigeria. I mean proper kings that are well brought up in royal settings are designed to create solutions to problems. So if you are raising a king and you are not watching out for his or her problem-solving skills, you are wrong. You are wrong. A leader, a king, has control over their emotions, has control over anxiety, has control over stress. I watched a video of George W. Bush when the terrorist attack of 9/11 happened in America, and he was in a secondary school or a primary school talking to students. And then one of his aides came to whisper in his ear, there's been a terror attack. A passenger plane has hit the Twin Tower. Look at the composure of the president of the free world. He smiled, he looked, and continued speaking to the students. He didn't say, hey, I don't die. Now my time that Bin Laden has catch us. No. No, just look at that. Just look at that. He must have been brought up to understand how to manage his emotions. If you're not teaching your children this, you are wrong. You are not raising kings. You are not raising kings. You are not raising kings. Number 3 way to safeguarding your home against drug abuse. Pay attention to your parenting partners. Now, everything I'm saying is what my coach Wendy has taught me. I'm not saying anything outside. So if you know that you want more of what we are saying, go and join the inner circle, because this is only 1/1,000,000th of what you are going to learn from there. It's a drop in the ocean. 45 minutes doesn't cut it. I tell you something, all of the speakers cannot cut it. You have to join the inner circle. So I learned about parenting partners from Coach Wendy. Parenting partners are those individuals who partake in the responsibility of raising your child, whether they know it or not. Pay attention to your parenting partners. Those people who partake, assistant parents, sometimes knowingly or unknowingly, they are helping you raise your child. That house girl you live with your child for 6, 8, 10 hours is more of a parent to that child than you are. Pay attention. That child that the driver picks and you are not around, so they do yawo, they stroll in town, then they do all the run around, then they come and pick you from work. That's a parenting partner. Uncles and aunties that have nowhere to stay and stay in your house, those are parenting partners. Legal guardians. We take our children to school and we say, please take care of my child. Hey, I had a guardian in secondary school. My secondary school mates are on this call. Everybody that they brought to that school, they will take their child to that man. My mother said, this is the best guardian ever. Everybody loved him. He was so sweet. He was so touching. He was so accommodating. He loved boys. He gave bear hugs. Parents were dashing him money. Yakpa, take care of my son. This guy was sleeping with the boys. I think I survived that because I was very scruffy in secondary school. So he didn't like me. Maybe I was in just one at that time. I was very, very scruffy. I was always dirty. So maybe it repelled him, and I thank God. He was sleeping with the boys. Parenting partner. Some of them, I tell you the truth, till this day have not recovered. I'm talking about secondary school I entered in 1997. I got into secondary school just 1997. Some of them that experienced that sexual violence have not recovered till this day. Legal guidance. Who are your parenting partners? Who are you handing over your children with? And what are they teaching those children? Look, everybody that is involved in raising a king is vetted. Each person that is involved in raising a king is vetted. The person's lifestyle, the person's values, the person's morals, the person's beliefs. You can't carry an anyhow person to raise a king. No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Pay attention to these parenting partners. These partners can negatively influence your children in various ways. Sometimes it's unintentional. Other times it is on purpose. An example of an unintentional parent influence on your parent is you have a driver. The driver smokes cigar. Whether you know it or you don't know it, I don't know. Yet that driver will pick your child from school. Your son has smelt it on him. Your son has seen the lighter in the glove compartment that he will hide when he picks you. One day your son is going to try it. If you have a driver that is doing things that do not align with your values, you better go and sack him. For the sake of your children, because you will not raise a king. Uncles and aunties. They come to the house. Uncle, come and sit on uncle's lap. My uncle has come from. Be careful. You will cry. I've told the story from 3 years ago, TIP conference, of a young girl that I knew. Knew her from almost when she was born. And then one day in church, I saw her looking dejected, battered, and tattered, and beaten. I said, what's the problem? She said, it's none of my business. Immediately, I knew there was a problem. I told the head teacher, we need to talk to our parents. This girl has started using drugs. They said, how do you know? I said, because I know the telltale signs. So we invited her, invited the parents. The father was angry. You are insulting me. A homie, an elder in the church. My daughter cannot be using drugs. It's puberty she's going through. I said, no, that's not how puberty works. That's not how puberty works. And then we called the girl in. I asked her a few questions. Under 3 minutes, she said, sir, my uncle, this same father that was bragging, his own younger brother who was deported from US and was living in their house, parenting partner, started giving her marijuana. Started putting it in their food at first. And they started sleeping with his niece. And they started giving her Refnol to cover it up. This is somebody you trusted with your child. Yet, you, the father, should know that your brother who was deported must have some command in his life. But no, it's my brother. So anything happens, I cannot send him out. Do you know how we struggled together? Do you know how we were brought up? Do you know how he suffered for me? Then you leave your children in the hand of a beast. It took the divine mercy of God for that girl's life to be saved. We had to take her out of Abuja, took her to Jos to go write her way. And from there, she went overseas for her BSc. Pay attention to your parenting partners. Quickly, my time is almost up. Create systems and structures in the home. You can't raise a king in a structureless environment. Some of us lead homes that are structureless and without systems to the detriment of our children. Some of us, our homes are like motor parks, garage. You know Mabushi Park or Jabi Garage? No law, no order. Just anything and everything can happen at any time. No set time for dinner. No set time for prayer. No set time for family bonding. Anything happens at any time. It ought not to be. Royalty, kingship is synonymous with systems and structures. Systems and structures. Coach has been shouting this. Systems and structures. And you can only create systems and structures if you are intentional about it. You can't raise a king in a chaotic and structureless environment. Kole work. Kole work. It can't work. You are raising a slave. Why do you think these kings, royalty, they work with so much ease and finesse and panache? Because of how they were raised. Their steps are calculated. Everything to the barest detail is worked on. One of the many advantages of creating a system and a structure for your child is self-regulation. Self-regulation is born out of routines that will help children develop self-discipline. It will help children develop time management skills. Of course, among many other skills I can't list that are proven to reduce the risk of substance use in our homes. Part of creating structures and systems is that you must establish clear rules about drug use and consequences for breaking those rules. Consistently keep revisiting those rules and reminding your children about those rules. We're almost done. I have 5 more minutes. You must be a role model. You must be a role model. That's the next one. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. Listen, training up a child is not beating a child. No, that's not what training a child is. Train up the child in the way he should go is not beat the child in the way he should go. You are beating because you are not modeling right. You are not. I look at people's comments on social media and I smile. Because I might be a young father, but I'll tell you that from my little experience, I can tell you that anytime I am tempted to lay my hand, I used to tell my wife, when we shout on these children, it's because of our deficiency. It's because of what we did wrong. Check it. It's because of what you are not doing right. Train up a child in the way that he should go means show a child the way he should go by being an example. Parents should model responsible behavior. Some of us are irresponsible parents. Lack of self-discipline, zero delayed gratification. Then when your child does something similar, he copied you. He copied you. Model responsible behavior. Avoid using illegal drugs. Avoid pornography. Avoid watching things on TV that some of us have no media plan. Of course, we have no media plan. And then it is in the lack of media plan that your child will see them using something on TV and you think, okay, let me go and get it. It is your fault. So when you want to flog that child or you are coming to my office to tell me you are praying that child should die, I might not say it to you, but in my mind, I said, this is your fault. Children emulate behaviors they see at home. I have seen several examples of children who started using drugs because their parents were bad examples. The young girl I spoke about earlier from that school who said that she was using all those things, she picked up the bottle of Hennessy, her first bottle of Hennessy from her father's wardrobe. A politician who is in Abuja looking for money, that was where she saw Hennessy and copied drinking Hennessy, and now she has a damaged kidney. She's still over a year. Well, I haven't followed up in a while, but over a year, she's still looking for a donor. Irresponsible parenting. Then you now come and you have the effrontery to carry cane and want to beat. I can't dwell on this too much. My coach has done justice to it, so if need be, please follow her for more. Be a present parent. We have 2 more. We're rounding up. I have 2 minutes. Be a present parent. You cannot prevent drug abuse in absentia. Also, you cannot raise a king by proxy. You cannot raise a king by proxy. You cannot raise a king in absentia. So listen, parents, listen. If you are raising a child and you are not there because you are so busy, you work in World Bank or IMF, so you can't be at home, fine, but you're not raising a king. No, you're not raising a king. You can't raise a king in absentia. Same way you can't prevent drug abuse in absentia. No. You have to be present to see and to observe. You have to be present to have these conversations we talked about. You have to be present to build strong relationships, foster strong bonds within the family through quality time spent together. That cannot be bought. With all the money you are looking for in Abuja or in Dubai, that cannot be bought. It cannot be paid for. Positive reinforcement, face-to-face encouragement. You must be around. You must be present to monitor and to supervise. How can you monitor your children's activities and their social circles when you are busy not being around? How do you know where they are and who they are with, especially during vulnerable times as adolescents? You should be there when they are crossing over to these stages. You should be there. Part of the reason you must be present is to create and supervise a drug-free home environment. Who will ensure that prescription medication and other potentially harmful substances are stored away? Is it your house girl that cannot read? Who will ensure that intoxicants like cleaning agents are kept out of the reach of children so they don't smell it and get intoxicated and start looking for drugs? Who will ensure? Is it your driver that is busy with his wife in the other room? Or your cook who is thinking of how to corner some of the rice and the chicken in your freezer so she can have something to eat? Be present. Please be present. These things you are looking for will mean nothing if, and I don't pray it happens to anybody, but if your child starts struggling with drug use. Finally, I'm done. As kings, we are taught in the inner circle how to keep to time. So that's why I reduced it from 10 to 7. Finally, seek professional help if needed. Seek professional help if needed. When you find out that you need help in creating this drug-free environment, go for courses. If you have to pay for it, pay for it. If a family member is struggling with substance abuse, seek professional help. Early intervention is crucial. Don't hide it. You cannot get out if you do not cry out. I have seen situations where the issue could have been nipped in the bud, but the parents were too busy hiding it to cover their own incompetence. Who told you this about the child? Your daughter is pregnant, you are hiding her. You said you are taking care of her. You are a liar. You are ashamed of yourself, that you are incompetent. When your child is using drugs and you are hiding him, you are ashamed of yourself. So save that boy's life by seeking professional help. I have the permission of Coach to tell you that our book is still on pre-order. The 12 Pillars of Prevention. If you need it, please go to my page. You'll see all the details there. We also have the Drug Hackathon, which is a yearly. See, Coach Wendy used to invite me personally to train her children and her friends' children, as a special son of the family. I'm the last born, and I do this for her. So how much more all of us who are on this platform? You want to learn more? You see, I started rushing towards the end. You want to learn more about drug abuse and drug abuse prevention? Please register for the David Folaranmi Foundation Drug Abuse Prevention Hackathon that comes up at the end of this month. I'll give you a sneak peek. Coach Ebuka is going to be speaking at that hackathon program, so it's not something you want to miss. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you, Coach Wendy. Thank you, Coach Kunle Ologe. Thank you to the entire TIP team for giving me this opportunity to speak at this conference. See you all in 2025. Thank you very much.
Wow, what an amazing time. We want to say thank you, sir, for honoring this call upon your life. What a privilege. We are amazed. We are blown away. We're going to be giving Coach David a water break. But in the meantime, please kindly follow Coach David on Instagram at David Folaranmi and get all the resources. Please, please, please. Some people have paid the price so we can pay attention. They have volunteered in their time. So please, the thank you we can give to them is to honor them by making sure we get all the resources. Follow them on Instagram. Go thank them on all their platforms. Please, please, please. Coach, we're going to be giving you 5 minutes to take a water break and just catch your breath while we take the Q&A session. We ease into the Q&A session. Wow, Woodwork, have you recovered from that mind-blowing session? Audience,
recovered? No.
Comment section while we are just catching up, and drop your favorite line, your favorite aha moment, your buzz boast that you're running with. Drop it in the comment section. Let it go. Woodwork, over to you. What was your favorite aha moment?
Who are your parenting partners?
Come on.
Your parenting partners. What are those? He made mention of something. He said, you have a cousin, you're saying you're being emotional, sentimental, let her just stay. And you know that this person is of bad character, but you're trying to manage. You're not thinking of your children. Who are your parenting partners?
I love that.
Oh my God.
Everybody that is involved in raising a king has to be vetted. So it's not about emotional attachment. It's not about emotional blackmail. We need to vet, who are our parenting partners. That's a good one. And he said something that I will run with. My aha moment was, kings are made in a place of quietness, no noise, no chaos, and structured environment. With that being said, if you need structure in your life, please do yourself a favor by joining the International Parent Academy, TIP. Please, I encourage you. All of the information is going to be displayed. Book a slot now. Don't second guess. If you are battling structureless parenting, then please, you have heard the word. Kings are only raised in a structured environment. Routines are important, and only the inner circle can give you that. I guarantee you. If not, you struggle. Please, we want to see comments we want to see questions. We're taking questions. If you have any questions while Coach David is catching his breath. If not, please do yourself a kind favor. Take all of the information on the banner to join the Inner Circle program and pay the fee to book a slot. Someone said in the comment section, my money is already in my colo, in my piggy bank. Please, join in.
And every question you ever need about parenting, you get it in the Inner Circle. I remember thinking of how I was going to start sex education with my children. And just last month in the Inner Circle, Coach dropped everything step by step. Wow. And my kids came back from, I have been putting it together to practice, and I have it. You need to be in the Inner Circle. You need to be in the Inner Circle. And guys, if you have not followed Coach David, please do. Put it on your WhatsApp status. Put your aha moments on your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories. Remember that this conference came absolutely free. Yes. And like we said, the best we can do is to follow them. Let your friends and family know. And please, tomorrow is another day. Let your family know. Let your parents, every parent around you, remember parenting partners, your neighbors, call your nanny around you, let everybody sit around you and listen.
Amazing. Does anyone have any questions for Coach David before we round off? Does anybody have any questions for Coach David? Any questions? And don't forget, it's not just about getting Rema, like Coach Wendell said. It's not about getting Rema, it's about implementation. It's about what we do with all that we've heard today. So please, let that be our biggest takeaway. Tell one, tell all, if I don't even tell a friend, drag your siblings or your parenting partners. It has left the time of telling a friend to tell a friend. This is dragging a friend because the children's life is important. It's at stake. Listen, like they said, it's already a war and flood that is coming. Parenting is war. So let's do that. So I don't see any questions in the comment section. Do we have any questions? Please kindly follow Coach David. Coach David, I have a question for you. So what if a child is already involved in the drug? Is there anything, do you think that rehabilitation is effective?
Yes, rehabilitation will be the most probable line of action, right? But it has to be individualized. So not just any rehabilitation center will be able to cater for the needs of a child who is struggling with drug use. They have to find out his peculiar issue. And then you have to find a rehabilitation center that suits that peculiar issue for you to stand a chance of getting a result.
Okay, so we have a question for you in the comments. It says, how do you handle a situation when your mom visits your home and insists on taking alcohol?
You see, so we get this every time. When we had the TIP conference in Abuja, we had that in Abuja a few months ago. It was one of the questions we got a lot of young people saying, so when and then International Boys Conference too, we had the same questions. A lot of people saying, when your parents insist on using substances, what do you do? At the end of the day, there's not much you can do. It's actually unfortunate, right? But if your parents are using, and you have gotten to the age where you can say no to it, then just maintain your abstinence. Just say no to it. You know, I very quickly, I'll tell you a story. 5 seconds. I was invited to Akwa Ibom to speak at a very big program. And then it was a church that invited me. They took me to the pastor's house from the hotel, and then they offered me alcohol. And I said, no, I was not going to take it. And then the person said, how can you say you will not take it when our pastor takes it? And I said, if your pastor is taking it, that doesn't mean I will take it. I don't take it. I didn't know he was listening on the staircase. And then he just came down clapping, clapping, clapping. He sat down and we had a conversation. And that was how that clergyman stopped using alcohol. So if you can actually stand your ground and say no to it, you might just be the saving grace of your parents who are using.
Thank you so much. And that will be all the questions. I know someone is asking that how do I educate them? So to just round that up, I believe that we need to reach out to Coach David. So Coach David, can you just tell the audience how they can educate their children on alcoholism and drug use and where they can find your resources?
Well, okay, so you can follow, like Coach Wendy has put on the comments, you can follow me on Instagram at David Folaro. Send me a DM. I will respond to you, and then I will talk you through the process on what you need to do and the specific resources you might need. Of course, if you want to get the book on prevention, you can still order because pre-order is still open, and then it will be very helpful. Coach Wendy Ologe wrote the foreword of my book. That's what you get for being the last born of the family. So Coach Wendy wrote my foreword, so you should get
all
it.
Right.
Thank you very much.
This session has been amazing, and we want to thank you, Coach David, once again, and all our wonderful audience parents for joining us in this. I know that you're investing your time, and I believe that you're going to harvest the results. Udua, do you have a final word? We have come to the end of today's session. Please tune in for the final session. And Udua, do you have a last word for our parents before we round up?
Please don't forget that kings are raised in the place of quietness. Yes. And it takes a king to raise a king. Amazing. It's been an amazing evening.
Thank you so much, audience. We've been your wonderful hosts, Kemi Ogunra, Udua Kogungide, and we'll see you in the next section. Thank you, Coach David, for honoring this call. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and see you in the next section, the final section. Bye now.